born in Virginia, southwestern Virginia, Franklin County, Rocky Mount, Virginia. It's technically the moonshine capital of the world. I was born on a tobacco farm, really, tobacco, cattle, wheat, and all that. Working in tobacco is weird. So, you know, it'd be dead of summer when you're priming tobacco, and priming it is you start at the bottom and work your way up when you're pulling leaves off of it. And so you have to manually do that. I don't think there's a machine yet to this day that does the priming. I just remember being a kid jumping like in the tobacco trailer and then helping the people that were working. I started playing drums when I was 9. It was just cool to me, I thought. So then I begged and begged my mom, and for my 10th birthday, she bought me a Sears and Roebuck, like, baby drum set. Like, one, not the $199 pseudo real looking thing, but like the $69 baby drum set with the little tom that I beat that thing to death. And at one point, I even took headphones and wired them up on my home stereo and turned them into microphones and recorded cassettes of me beating on this Mickey Mouse drum set. Yeah, wow, it was an amazing time. I used to get up and play like before the bus would run. It was hot for it for a while. 13 and 14, my dad, my stepfather, was taking me to bars to play cover songs in this band called Gypsy Rocks. I remember literally my father taking me and dropping me off, you know, at 8:30 and then coming back at 1, and we'd play to like 1:30 and then would take me home. I actually went back to school because I started to feel funny because I didn't graduate. I was like, what am I gonna do with my life? And it was weird, I had like enough credits that I went back and did like 3/4 of the school year and still graduated with my senior class. Senior class president too. And then I came to Atlanta because it's hard to be a rock star in Virginia. So I started playing drums when I was 9. Now we're partying. I had started working at Gary's Auto Body 08, 09-ish, 08-ish or whatever. And I worked there for a year or so. I worked there for a couple of years and it got slow and he let me go, and I was trying to stay in the business, and I was living over here in the village, and I drove by here one day and saw Shannon walking across the lot, and I walked in and just kind of chatted him up and figured out what he was doing and how he was doing it. And then I just started coming in and working with him. It was called East Atlanta Garage at that point. He had opened East Atlanta Garage. So I was an employee of it then. And then he went another way and was doing different stuff. And we kind of, you know, he wanted to get out of it. I wanted to get in it. So he left. And then I did a couple of years where it was just me and this guy named Jeff here and whoever I could get working with me at the time to kind of keep things moving. And then that's when I met Michael. It was good. He kind of refaced everything and snazzed things up a little bit, and then did that for a couple of years, and then a couple of years went by, and then we decided to split ways, and then it's just back to where we are here. I was always around cars, but like my father and my older brother. My older brother used to drag race cars. My dad wrecked every cool car that you could ever think about owning. He owned and wrecked it. He was an interesting character. I just always liked music and stuff, and you know how it is when everybody around you is doing like a certain thing. Then I was like, well, y'all have that. I'm gonna play drums. I'm gonna be a rock star. But it's funny when you get off of 75 on Terra Boulevard, and you get to your first light. There's all them little used car lot deals. one of the car lots had like a 70s red Chevelle up on the ramps, and I just got hot for it. I like pulled over and, how much is that Chevelle? And, called my mom. I was like, hey, I found a Chevelle. I need some money. I got to get this car. And she was like, well, you got a Nova here that your brother left you. My older brother had passed away in 94, and he had a 73 Super Sport Nova. When he passed, he had left that to me, and when I figured out that I couldn't get enough money for the Chevelle, I rented a U-Haul trailer and brought that Nova down here, and then still have that car. I just wanted to, make an honest living. I never intentionally screwed anybody over. Dan from Zoroaster stopped by the shop one day and was telling me, I guess they had issues with their bass player, Brent, and they had a tour booked, and was like, oh, we need to find a bass player. And I was like, hey, buddy, I play bass. And so I was like, let me audition, let me do that. So I auditioned. They thought I was good enough to do it, which was killer, and we actually went out and did a month with WeedEater in the U.S., and then did another month in Europe directly behind it. So it was 2 months out with Zoroaster and WeedEater. And then that's where I really re-met WeedEater through that. And then when they had issues with their old drummer, they remembered me from Artemis and was like, hey, Travis, Boogie plays drums. That's how the WeedEater thing happened. It's all Zoroaster and stuff. Oh, WeedEater. I'm Travis Owen. I play drums for WeedEater and own Village Garage and Custom.
I'm feeling fine. This ain't no favor. I'll blow your mind.
Yeah, he had ran an ad in the Loaf that said, Corn Helmet Melvin's influenced, looking for drummer. True story. Corn Helmet and Melvin's. I was like, hey man, that'd be badass. I love all of them bands.